Alright, what's up y'all, LakerFan here. As I was about to tell today's video, I'm back. So, it's been a while. There's a lot to catch you guys up on and explain and all that stuff. And for anybody that's watching this video, I'm guessing you're a subscriber or a consistent viewer. It's not likely that new people have clicked onto this video, you know, if you happen to not be a viewer of mine consistently. But if you are new to the channel and you do appreciate this video, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new. There's a lot of different gameplay that we do on this channel between Pro-Am and like breakdowns and stuff like that. But this video is mainly for my core viewers that have been wondering where the heck I've been for the last 50 days. So, let's take this from the beginning and explain to you guys pretty much how it all went down. I do want to explain real quick though. You can see this is new gameplay. It's not old stuff or anything like that. This is like literally from 2 days ago. I have a lot of new tech stuff that I'm trying to deal with as well, between like I need to get a new Elgato, what I'm working on right now with the it's a long story, but I've been through 3 different computers now. This is my 3rd one in the last 50 days. It's ridiculous, but that's part of the story of my, you know, departure in a little bit. But let's talk about the main part. So, rewind 50 days ago, you know, if you guys have been keeping up with my like community posts and stuff like that, I had explained to you guys that, you know, I'll just kind of take you through it. So I just wake up one day, you know, my parents are both here, my mom and dad, they're divorced, so I'm really like curious as to like why I'm waking up both my parents here, and they're in the living room with my brother. They've already given him the rundown, and I'm like, you know, fresh out of waking up and you know, hopping out there at like 1 p.m. because my, you know, sleep schedule was bad and all. So anyway, and yes, Bonnie's MIA in the gameplay right here. But anyway, so, you know, they just explained my aunt, who's 51, had just passed, and our family is extremely tight. My aunt is my mom's only sister. It's like really one of my main closest uncles and aunts or anything like that, you know, like relatives of my parents and stuff like that. I only have one set of grandparents now because my dad's side had passed before I really was even born, or maybe my, you know, grandpa on that side was a little, maybe when I was like 8 had passed, or 9, or whatever the case may be. But anyway, so this is on my mom's side where, you know, my grandparents and stuff are still alive, and yeah, and my mom's only sister had passed at 51. So it's a pretty tough thing for us to all deal with, and it still has been. I'm pretty well coped with it now, and I've done my mourning and stuff like that, so I'm okay at this point now. So where do we even start here? I guess I could start by explaining to you guys how great my aunt was, how she was like a second mom to me, and it was constantly, and she didn't have any kids or anything like that either. So me and my brother were like her sons in a sense, and I don't know, I don't want to give any like too detailed descriptions or anything like that, or explain anything. She had a blood clot or something, and boom, it just was an overnight thing. She woke up, dialed 911, and she was unresponsive by the time they got there. So I don't know, like breathing problems, I believe she woke up to, and she couldn't breathe anymore. It's tough, and I don't want to sit here and explain way too long, because I obviously, you know, will have my own emotional response to it and stuff like that, and it's not something you guys really have to hear about too much or anything like that. So let's just, you know, explain as far as my departure. Obviously that had a little bit of an impact on me, quite a bit of an impact on me, and I didn't really feel like making videos for at least another like 2 weeks after, you know, the funeral. I had been really helpful with the funeral setup and stuff like that, being all in, because you don't really expect to have to do stuff like this. My mom, likewise, didn't expect to have to, you know, be part of her sister's funeral process so early or young, and my grandparents didn't expect it either, obviously, but that's life at the end of the day. I totally have kind of, you know, understood that, and I was kind of allowing my grandparents to maybe grieve a little bit easier too, that I know people that I grew up with that are gone in their 20s, or, you know, even I believe maybe even when they were like 19 or 18 or something like that. This girl Patricia that I used to know, that I really was into back in the day, and yeah, then I found out maybe like a couple months after I stopped talking to her that she had died in a car crash. So all I'm saying is, I know that life is unfair in many different ways, and while my aunt felt completely unfair as far as like how great of a human she was, and just, you know, that it was way too early for her, at the end of the day, there's people that have gone even earlier. So I totally understand, and I feel for you guys out there if you happen to be someone like that who have, you know, dealt with unexpected passing or anything like that. So anyway, to kind of segue into why I've been gone though, so obviously, as we just mentioned, you know, the grieving and mourning and stuff like that. But now let's kind of transition into the talk of like computer issues and stuff like that. So I've been having a lot of issues with the computer. So the one that I got about, I would say, almost 7 years ago, I believe, my friend Tyler, his cousin, helped me out with building a PC for myself when I was really like starting off in this YouTube stuff, right? Like when I was after 2K17 going into 2K18, and I was like, okay, like just came off a really good year. It's time to really ramp up things and get everything all professional, not be on this laptop garbage or like the $400 computer that I bought starting off because, you know, I couldn't afford anything else, and it was just me, you know, making my best effort at, you know, something that I could afford with what I had made off YouTube so far. So anyway, besides, you know, all that, I've had so many endless issues with computers, as I mentioned. Actually, I think I didn't mention in this one. I tried recording before, but kind of had some mishaps. So I was playing Valheim, if you guys are familiar with the game, and I was trying to play it on my PC. I started up a server with all my boys. It was like Zeke, Denton, Apollo, like all types of people that I could get amongst like the people I played 2K with. And long story short, the PC could not handle the game. It was ridiculous. Like my computer literally started smelling like it got fried. Like it smelled like something burnt, like rubber or like smoke or something like that. And yeah, it like zapped out while I'm playing the game. Unbelievable. My brother heard it all the way across the house. It was some crazy stuff. So anyway, clearly that computer, that's pretty old and not exactly the greatest specs or anything like that. It wasn't that bad though, but clearly it couldn't handle that type of gameplay. So, you know, unfortunate. It is what it is. I gotta get a new computer. It was well overdue. So it's like, okay, that's kind of expected. It's fine. I'm gonna be out of commission anyway. I didn't really feel like posting videos regardless, so it's whatever, you know. With my aunt's passing, I was just gonna focus on all the things of like, you know, taking care of the family a little bit, as much as I can do for, you know, whatever my role is in that. But anyway, so fast forward a couple weeks, I got a new computer like pretty much right after the old computer had like fried or whatever. But I didn't really get started with setting it up or anything like that until, I don't know, some time had passed or anything like that. So, you know, fast forward 2 weeks from my aunt's passing and when I bought the computer again, well, the computer just fritzed out again. The brand new one didn't work. It was something about a bad motherboard or something like that. You know, Best Buy garbage. I gotta say, I've had some really bad experience with the Best Buy stuff with this, and same with like buying the next gen consoles when that was a thing. Like their call service is freaking terrible, bro. It's insane. But anyway, let's just stay on track here. So computer not working, get a new one, right? Brand new one. It's the same one that my brother has, because it was like, you know, he got a new one pretty recently, so I was like, okay, at least I know what this is like and what to expect out of it, and like the specs, like he knows what it's about and all that stuff. So I'm like, okay, I'll just get the same one. That's fine. So that one, like I said, the bad motherboard doesn't work. I'm like, okay, well, see if I can get a return policy on on it from Best Buy. You know, I gotta say, while the guy that we were dealing with wasn't exactly the most informed with his job and stuff like that, I gotta appreciate it, because I think we were past the 2-week you know, return policy or anything like that, and I didn't buy a warranty on it. So we fortunately, you know, got to just get it returned easy. You know, I order a new one, but they say that if I get it delivered, it'll only be like, you know, 5 days. Nope, turns out that even with the delivery, it has to be like 2 weeks, even more. So that's why I've been out at least like 40 days now by this point of just not having a computer in general. And then on top of that, I've just been a little bit lazy the last couple of days because I've been dealing with lack of understanding the current computer and not really knowing how to operate like all the stuff with it, because I had just come off, you know, 7 years in a row of using the same computer. It all working the exact same way, no new tech to really be found out. It's a you know, heaven for someone like me who doesn't really know their stuff too well with the tech or anything like that. I know you would think maybe me being on the YouTube stuff for so long would be like so informed on stuff like this, but nah, bro. I literally have been carried by, you know, my friend's cousin of just knowing like the specs to put on this computer, maybe some YouTube tutorials that I've been so frustrated trying to learn through and stuff like that back in the day, but fortunately I haven't had to deal with that until recently again. So now I gotta relearn all this stuff with like new updated forms of the apps and stuff like that, and all types of stuff, you know, that I'm kind of trying to figure out again. So anyway, I'll get back to the point in a sec. I just want to explain to you guys, this was a game that I had so many assists. We were playing a pretty good team for that matter right here in the ranked, but bro, AK has been on something else with this contested shooting stuff. So you're gonna see a lot of this stuff right here of him hitting like 70s and 60s and stuff like that with the new jump shot he's got. I think it's like Oscar uppers or something like that with a ton of height. I just wanted to, you know, point that out because you're gonna see a lot of contested shots dropping in this game, and he's been on something. He's been working while I've been gone, and so has, you know, a lot of the guys that we're playing with here. But anyway, let's get back to the topic. So now, new computer, you know, it's like the Elgato that I have, it might just also be old too, and the capture service, whatever you want to call it, I was using Elgato Game Capture HD or something like that. It's a way more simple form than this 4K stuff I'm playing on right now, where I can't control the game volume at all on this 4K stuff that I got to be playing on right now, and it also just is like, I don't know, I don't understand how to control where my files are going or anything like that. So it's been a little bit more complicated. It's been overwhelming. I'm like, oh, I don't really feel like doing all this stuff. Like, so I've just been sitting here lazy as far as this regard. Now, what I've been doing in my time off, I've been so working, bro. I've been working so hard on, like, you know, improving my body again and stuff like that, and getting healthy all over again. Because obviously, when it comes to the YouTube scene and stuff like that, with how diligently and like extremist I am with it, I was pretty departed from, like, you know, healthy living, I must say. Like, obviously, you know, people can do things in moderation, normal people. Me personally, I'm such an extremist in anything I do. If I'm like working on something, like plan A or option number 1, if you will, is like 90% of my attention. It's kind of bad and really like unhealthy, if I'm being completely honest. And I need to work on it. I want to get better at multitasking in the grand scheme of things in life. I know multitasking itself, I can be fine at, you know, between like texting and talking to someone at the same time or anything like that. But I'm talking like grand scheme of things, multitasking, like, for instance, to be taking care of my body and health and all that stuff, and then still at the same time be locked in on YouTube, and then still at the same time be like, you know, good with personal relationships, whether it's family, friends, girls, anything like that. So what I've been really on for the last like 3 years is such an extremist lifestyle of being so locked in on the YouTube. I mean, it's my opportunity, and that's how I see it, and I don't want to let it pass me by. So this opportunity that I've got with the YouTube, I've for the last 3 years been so freaking locked in on everything to do with it, you know? I mean, nothing at all that I've like been spending my time on has been anything besides this, besides the summers that I take off. Now, I'm starting to see that, you know, I'm seeing life for what it is of my aunt's passing, and that I want to be out there and a whole lot more social with my friends, or, you know, once again, relationship, maybe pursuits and stuff like that as well. And I don't want to be so closed off in my mid to early 20s and, you know, regret it when I'm like 30 or anything like that, or like in my 40s or anything. And I don't know where life's going to take me, you know, in the future. I want to get into coaching and stuff when I get older. I remember one time I said when I grow up, and then someone was like, bro, how old are you? Talking about grow up. But when I get older, you know, in my 30s and something like that, I want to get really hard into coaching. Football would be my main like idea, or what I'd really like to get into. I know the game like super well, way better than basketball for that matter. And that may be surprising to some of you guys with like the way I kind of go about the 2K stuff right here. But anyway, yeah, just to kind of backtrack a little bit, let's get back to the topic. Okay, yeah, so like the grind and the multitasking and stuff like that. I have just really been not the best at that or anything like that in my life, and it's just a truth. I can at least face that and like understand that it's a thing, you know? So I'm gonna try and get better at that, and let's talk about the whole multitasking aspect of it as well. So, I'm going to be very open with you guys, and an open book in this video, 100%. I'm here to really get the old Laker, and I used to do stuff like this back in the day, in case you guys, you know, watched me in 18 and 19 and stuff like that. I had really deep talks on my videos talking about like life and just and where I'm at, and like, you know, being an open book with that. I think nowadays I've been a little bit jaded to it, because I'm like, people just look to me for like the gameplay and information. They don't actually care about me or anything like that, so I just want to stick to what it is. And I know some of you guys out there are going to be like, bro, that's not the truth. Like, a lot of us care, and I understand. A lot of times I feel like I can allow negativity to kind of be what speaks loudly when it comes to these comments and stuff like that too, or just anything like that. And even that itself, I want to fix like my mentality and my positivity and stuff like that on my outlook on life. I feel like I've been looking for the negative way too much in everything. It's something that's maybe been seeped into me from, I don't even know if it's just like the community in general or what I've like kind of surrounded myself with. I used to be like, and I'm not here to say I'm not anymore. It's just I feel like my YouTube persona, or just like what I've been immersed in as LakerFan, has kind of molded me into like a more negative kind of I don't know, maybe it's also embracing that mama mentality stuff so hard to the point where I can't really turn it off, like when I would like to. And what I mean by that is like what I think of in that mentality is obviously like very focused and determined and stuff like that, and that your like success comes first, and like that you're so locked in and stuff like that. But I think what also comes with it unnaturally, and what you don't want but don't really realize with it, is that you can really run into just an ego situation, or like not really, having a empathetic outlook on life that is centered around like, improving other people's lives, or to really take people under your wing, or to, try and do better for them as well, or just to be a kind person in general. Because like I said, empathy maybe wasn't exactly in my forefront as far as what I was focused on or anything like that. So anyway, let's reel this in a little bit, because I want to come back to what I was actually talking about with my lack of being able to be a good multitasker, which was the fact that I've, gone from being locked in on helping my family into being locked in on binging Netflix, then being like, okay, it's time to get locked in on working out. I got to do something with, my time, rather than to just sit here and, binge Netflix 24/7. Shout out to Manifest. It was the Netflix series I was watching. Great story and all that stuff. Like good just moral, like I just liked it. It was a good show for like good people, and it has a good message for sure as well. But anyway, so I went from being locked in with the family to being locked in on Netflix to now being locked in on working out. And then I met this girl that I really liked for, I would say, I don't know, it only lasted for like a couple weeks, like 2 to 3 weeks or something like that in this amount of time. And I was getting to know her a whole lot. We were gonna like, planning this date out or whatever for last weekend. And I don't know, stuff just didn't fall through. Classic, like I'm not afraid of telling you guys about stuff like this, it is what it is. I struck out again, we'll just call it that, simple. So I don't know, I'm not really hurt by it or anything like that too much. If anything, it was kind of relieving after. So like it was really good for the first like 2 weeks or so. We were gonna plan out all the stuff, like date this, that, and the other. And I think sometimes as I've mentioned to you guys with the whole extremist kind of thing, I can be a little bit overbearing sometimes, I guess, when it comes to when I get really into somebody. And I think that's for the worst. I need to find a way to improve that in the future, as far as like not being so just kind of too much, if you will. Now this time around, I've learned from my past, and I wasn't really too much per se, but it's also like, I don't know, just bad communication issues that I was dealing with from her for the last like, maybe let's say like 5 days in a row. And I don't know, bro, I'm talking just like complete like, MIA. And I'm like, I understand, busy is busy, but like at the same time, it's not what I want at the end of the day. If it's going to be too busy to even send a message like literally all day for, I don't know, 4 or 5 days, that's it. Like it's done. So anyway, that didn't work out. And I think, at the end of the day, it's not a complete loss, but it was a loss of time in a good bit, and a loss of energy as well, but not as bad as I've let it be in the past. I've really got like really immersed in like obsessive sometimes, and I'm being open with you guys about that 100%, and I'm here to tell you that I really do want to improve on that in the future, because I don't know, I think like I'm about to be 26 in July, fellas, and I was a really like romantic and really, because I'm not with any of the like kind of degenerate bullshit so I'm like really romantic 100%, and just want to like be a more relationship guy rather than the contrast of that. But with that in mind, for the last like I would say 3 years or so, like I just mentioned, I've been a little bit detached from like allowing anybody in, or like really seeking in the first place either. Because I know at the end of the day, as a guy, like sometimes if you're like, let me put you guys in my shoes. So if you're locked in doing your thing, self-improvement, focused on your career improvement and all that stuff too, and it's indoors, like I mean, I'm not like working at Panera like I used to or anything like that, where it's like social. It's literally locked in on YouTube, where it's just me, myself, and my monitor and my microphone, and sometimes I wouldn't even get out the house for who knows how long, bro. I mean, at the end of the day, in September all the way to maybe December, I'm so locked, like playing this game over and over again every day. It's getting cold out and stuff too. It's like I don't even want to get out and be social. So yeah, long story short, having been so aggressively on this for so long, I just feel like it's taken a toll on me in a way of not only my social like kind of just, I don't know, satisfaction in general, but I'm not here to say I've become a worse person at like communicating or anything like that, because that's not the case by any means. It's just more like, I don't know, I've been detached from the romantic stuff like that for a while now, and it's kind of, I'm over that now. You know what I mean? I'm over being the degenerate gamer that's like, so shut out from the outside world, not spending enough time with family or friends, or like I said, allowing people in or anything like that. So I don't know what kind of Laker fan you guys are going to get from me, but I do know one thing. It's going to be a more positive version of myself, 100%. That's for sure. I'm definitely going to be in a more like positive, good outlook on life. I'm going to be a little bit more in the multitasking, where I refuse to allow myself to just be so locked in on the game again, to where I let my body like get to the, I don't know, the extremes that it was. And it's not so extreme. It's just, again, I really like came from running track, and just doing like basketball, football in my early high school days, not the middle, but I was into basketball for sure in like pretty much my entire high school life, and then track as well. I was really good at track, so I kind of like took it by storm and just like really got into it, even though I didn't really do it my sophomore year. It's a long story. We're here for a while. I'll just tell you guys. So I was in track freshman year, but people persuaded me to do distance instead of sprinting. That was the dumbest shit I could have ever done. I don't know why in the world I did that. I'm an explosive athlete rather than distance. I think I was trying to get stamina for basketball, and I figured that'd be the best way. I wanted to like, be in shape and actually like be at 100% while in like, practice or in game and stuff like that. But little did I know, I'd actually love track more than basketball anyway, as an athlete at least, not as, a viewer or anything like that. But yeah, so anyway, fast forward to my junior year, because I didn't even do track my sophomore year, and I did distance my freshman year. Didn't like it that much, but I'm a really good jumper. Like I'm 5'10", I would say, and I could dunk when I was in like freshman year of high school. And bro, I don't know why in the world I wish I had like a mentor or something like that, or that my parents would have been a little bit more aggressive in like saying what my skill set was and being like, Brad, you aren't a distance runner, that. Like, because bro, I absolutely should have been sprinting, doing 4x1s, 4x2s, 4x4s, anything like that. High jump, that's what my big specialty was. I fell in love with it, and it was my obsession for my junior and senior year of track. Fast forward a little bit from the junior year, I have a lot of injuries in my senior year, and it was just a really unfortunate kind of unfolding. Like, I only had one great, amazing year of doing what I loved with the track stuff, and my senior year was full of like just random injuries, an ankle issue that still like stands to this day, just unfortunate stuff. I don't know. It deals with, explosive jumping and stuff like that, so it is what it is. But anywho, I don't even know where I was with this stuff. Oh yeah, it was just actually talking about the girls and whatnot. So yeah, I just have been so removed from stuff like that, and I want to get back to it. Like I said, I'm gonna be a little bit more social, a little bit more friendly with my friends, and also just spend a lot more time with my family. Me and my mom still have a lot of work to do, because my aunt was single and didn't have kids or anything like that. So we have to spend a lot of time, whether just as a family, whether it's just me and my mom, or if my brother helps out or anything like that too, where we have to clean her house out. We're her estate, so we're gonna have to deal with like selling the house and all that stuff, which it'll be a blessing in disguise from my aunt. And I have to say, like, so much that I don't know if you guys have ever dealt with that in your life or anything like that, where past like a loved one, their like money and stuff becomes now yours, and it's something that I have to really like internally justify sometimes, because I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm gonna spend every like penny that I get off some inheritance like that or something like that in a very responsible way. And it's not like my aunt was rich or anything like that either, but it's just morally it feels so bad to like take her wealth or anything like that, or any like earnings that she made of her life or anything like that, and to use it for myself. We've found a lot of charities and stuff that fit her, because my my aunt was a really I gotta at least say something like this in the video for you guys. My aunt was one of the best people that's ever walked this earth, probably, bro. She was a true environmentalist. She was so immersed in, like, you know, animal like I'm trying to think of the best words for this because she'd probably know best, but, you know, obviously she's not explaining that to you guys here. She was really into, like, you know, animal rehab, or like just taking care of the environment and like the earth itself and just all that stuff. Like I said, love for animals, nature, everything like that. Her job was everything to do with all of the above of stuff like that, you know, teaching kids about nature and stuff like that too, with really creative, like, good ways that you would think of. Just the best aunt ever, like, for I don't know, just even being like a good person, for a good teacher in life as well. So I just had to at least say something about her in this video, of how great of a person she was, and that she will be missed by our family a ton, and especially me, and especially my brother, and especially my mom and her parents as well, who happened to outlive her at this point as well. So yeah, I don't know, it's gonna be rough, but like I said, like, her blessing in disguise to my life and like what I want to do with it and stuff, of just the financial support, of the mini little boost that I'm gonna get out of something like that. It's gonna it's really allowed us to double down on some things tenfold. My mom, and my brother have been in places where we're all in, like, the grind stage of life again, where my mom's a teacher but not sure if she wants to continue teaching. She has, like, a side business as well that her and her new husband, my stepdad, are doing and stuff like that as well. And that's really their dream. And I think, like, even just not even just the financial spark, because again, it's not like a crazy amount or anything like that, but also the motivational spark of just doing what you want in life, bro. I think all three of us have understood that now. Like, I've been treating this as such a job when it's a blessing, bro. I'm so lucky to be doing shit like this, man, and I really, like, don't want to take that for granted at all anymore, of thinking of it as a job, and, you know, thinking of you guys as viewers. It's not like that. I used to be so personable, and I think Ludwig has a word for this. I can't remember what it is. It's something I don't remember, bro, but long story short, it's about getting like too attached, and parasocial relationships and stuff. So, like, you know, for instance, for me to be, like, see viewers as family, you know what I mean, or like for you guys to see me as family is considered like parasocial, you know, and it's a little bit over the top, you know, entirely. But I gotta say, I have to at least be appreciative 100% of everything that you guys have done for me and been there for me, and all those messages that you gave me in that community post about my aunt. I appreciate it so much. And, you know, I came from a time period back in, like, 2K18 and 17 and even 19, where I wasn't a big YouTuber, so the community was so tight for me, and it was like another family to me. As I've become a little bit more of a mainstream YouTuber, and I'm blessed for it and thankful that even some of you guys are still, like, really great viewers as well, that have come along from the mainstream years, like 2K20 and 23 and 24 for me. But with that has come a lot of also mainstream viewers that just, I don't know, they don't really care about me. They care about just the intel and the information and the teachings that I do and stuff like that. And I've allowed myself to kind of just shut out like a more emotional Laker, and just, you know, be here present as just a YouTuber, and that's it. But I just had to say, I really appreciate whatever all you guys have done for me in the last couple of months and stuff like that, of being there to just emotionally support me as well, and to make me feel so not lost in the world or anything like that either, as I'm searching for answers and searching for, you know, reasons and stuff like that. But anyway, I really wanted to at least hop on here, and I'm not watching the clock of this game or anything like that. I'll probably just get another gameplay if I feel like I still got stuff to say. But I wanted to at least hop on here and give you guys an update on where I'm at, you know, where my mentals are, because I'm doing good now. I'm actually probably in some of the best state of life that I've been. But yeah, me and my mom are gonna have to continue to finish stuff up with, like, you know, my aunt's house. We're gonna have to, you know, move forward with a lot of things in life are changing as well. I want to move pretty soon as well. My mom's moving as well. Man, it's just a lot of stuff to deal with. But I think we're both kind of just shutting it all out and taking one step at a time, you know. And it's just gonna be hard regardless. So might as well not make it even harder by stressing about it at all, you know. So while I've been through, you know, my extremisms of you know, the Netflix binging, the workout binging, the relationship that could have been came and went literally within 3 weeks, you know, and all that. I don't know. I'm still here standing, and I'm feeling good, man. And we're back on the game here now as well. As you can see, we end this game with 40 something assists as well, and like a really good game as far as like stuff like this. And I gotta say, I don't even think these guys were like terrible. Like they had some GOAT statuses. I guess they're only 1-0, but as you can see, like they're purples and golds and stuff like that across the board. I don't know. I mean, that's just interesting. But anyway, let's get back into another gameplay. Sure, why not? We'll give some park gameplay as we finish this out, because I probably don't got too much more on here to say. But anyway, yeah, if you guys want to like respond to anything that I've said so far, as you know, just like, I think what I'm looking for the most guidance out of is because I'm past the coping of the past relative. I have found internal ways to like deal with you know, the mourning, and just like to move on with life and understand that things do not stop in that regard. But yeah, and I don't need any motivation for like the gym or anything like that, or like I actually haven't been to the gym technically. What I've been doing mostly is like home stuff, and I've always been like a really big like just, I don't know, obsessive over like core workouts. So like anything as far as like definition, I would say I'm not really about bulking. I just like, I don't know, defined arm, defined abs, defined chest, stuff like that, and really being locked in on that. So to give you some perspective, I just want to allow you guys to understand like where I've like kind of cycled through here. So when I was playing in high school, I was only about like 135 or like 140 pounds at like 5'10", 5'9", something like that, right? So like really skinny, but I was still like really, once again, locked in on like the definition and stuff like that. So that was probably the best shape I've ever been in. I know some people wouldn't believe it because they think like 5'10", 140 pounds is like quote unquote unhealthy, but right now I'm probably developing toward the best shape I've ever been in, because now I'm at probably like, I think so here, let's explain these cycles. And also, I don't know why I recorded this gameplay. There's a lot of trash, like garbage, but anyway, let's explain the cycles a little bit here. So like I said, came from 130 skinny to, I feel like I was starting to develop good definition and stuff like that, but I don't know, somewhere along the way, I think it was probably 2020. This is where a lot of people's lives probably kind of took a turn for the worst. When it was in 2020 and, you know, COVID and all that was going on, I feel like I probably like allowed myself to, I don't know, slip away a little bit as far as that goes. And yeah, so I ended up getting up to 180 pounds instead of the 135, 140 I had been at. And it's not like I like felt awful about it or anything like that. But I didn't feel like the same me, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like the type of stuff that I was on as far as like my goals and where I want to be and what I like and admire out of myself or anything like that. Also, this is why I recorded it. This is a new move that I'm gonna be showing you guys in a video sometime. This aggressive breakdown is broken, but anyway, yeah. So finalizing things on that, we're getting there. I'm really like developing and working toward like a really like my best shape I've ever been in, and I'm excited to be in that type of kind of grind. But yeah, if you guys have anything to say about like kind of the openness that I gave about the whole like me being really locked in on just like relationship pursuit when it happens, let me know if you guys agree, because this is what I'm internally trying to like kind of learn myself as well. I think being all in and like you know, wearing your heart on your sleeve with somebody is not it, and it's just unfortunate because that's how I want it to be. But yeah, so to kind of backtrack to where I was just at, I think like what would be ideal for me, and I'm not that over the top. I know I'm explaining to you guys that I'm pretty freaking over the top, but I'm not really that crazy or anything like that, I promise you. I just find myself to be, you know, pretty like sweet and romantic, I guess. And this is a whack thing to talk about to 95% male viewership or anything like that, but I don't know. I like to be like the good guy, you know what I mean? And like the like sweet romantic kind of guy, and it works out in my favor a lot as well. And that's just who I am as well. But I don't know. I think truly speaking though, I'm starting to see a trend that just isn't actually it. But it's also like I can't pretend to be someone I'm not or anything like that. I think there are some social developments that I need to get of the whole like maybe allow them to chase you rather than you chase them, or that I feel like it should be mutually like, you know, as interested. But really like if I'm gonna be consistently on top of like, let's say texting back super early, or you know, always the one that's messaged them first or something like that. That's probably something that is a little bit, as I've started to kind of understand the truth about law of attraction, a little bit of a deterrent, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's such a stupid thing though. I hate playing the game. That's where I think I struggle the most when it comes to with girls. Is like I'm not someone that plays the game. You know what I mean? I don't do this nonsense of like, you know, purposely message them back late so they think I'm lacking interest, and then it makes them want you more or something like that. As I've been on the other end of that as well. I feel like that's where I really start to like kind of develop the most feelings for someone, is when they start to kind of detach a little bit, and I just like feel like I want them more, you know? I hate the game. So what I'm hoping is that there's someone out there that doesn't play the game either, but you know what I mean, and just is fully into it as I am, you know? But I don't know, maybe I just have to keep waiting and that's out there, or maybe it just doesn't even exist. I don't know. So feel free to give your feedback on that 100%. I'm open to, you know, to hearing what you guys have to say, if you need to be a little bit more closed off and like, you know, send them, like, play the game a little bit more. I don't know if I can though, but I'll try if people think that's the good idea as well. But I don't know, or if I should just be patient with that as well. But for now, I'm being patient. I'm gonna keep on working out like crazy, like I have been. I've been going to exhaustion, bro, like every day for like 3 weeks in a row now, and I'm seeing crazy improvements and results, and I'm so happy for it. And I think at the end of the day, like, maybe that's the case too. I do love myself, but sometimes I put the other person before me when it comes to those relationship pursuits and stuff like that. And I think I need to understand that I will always come first. It's just, it's such an egotistical way of looking at it, and I hate doing that. But it's the truth. Everybody needs to put themselves first. And I don't know. I just need to be able to never have to love someone more than myself, I guess. Which is very corny. It's very cringe and cliche. But it might just be the truth. I don't know. Feel free to give your feedback on stuff like that. There's a lot of things in life that I feel like I've mastered and really, like, understand at a really high rate and stuff. But this psychology stuff might not be my best suit. I'll just say that much. Whereas I feel like being a good person is definitely a good suit for me. It's just, yeah, the games and the psychology of it and stuff like that is something I probably need to work on a little bit more, or just have more discipline on. You know what I mean? To finish this video off, on the topic of an extremist that I am, that seeps its way into relationship ventures as well. I become so immersed in that person that I put everything to the side, and that needs to be not the case. I need to have, and I think that was the problem with the girl that I was just talking to for the last like 3 weeks, is that I didn't have the YouTube to kind of fall back on, and I didn't really have any other hobbies that I was doing, because I just binged the Netflix. All I had was working out, and that was it. And I don't know, I guess she was like something that was satisfying my boredom, slash also like, you know, kind of something that filled my brain up quite a bit, you know, for the last like 3 weeks. So that's probably the problem, is I just didn't have anything to like put first, you know, besides her. So I don't know. Truth be told, you gotta have balance in life, and I know that for a fact. I just have to work on it. So hold me to it. You guys could literally just say balance. Say balance in every comment section you want to. If this message sticks with you and you want to look out for me, which I don't know how many of you guys out there are already more. Like I said, it's fine if you think that's corny or you don't want to. But if you want to just say balance, or keep life balanced, or just any messages like that for reminders for me in the comments of these videos, or anything past, like in the future for videos and stuff too, man, feel free to. Because yeah, I need to improve on the balance of life 100%. I get way too like extreme on my pie chart of like investment of plan A or option 1. Man, option 2 doesn't even find its way into the freaking rearview mirrors, bro. It like is literally not there. And I need to do better at that. Because I do too many things in life 1 week at a time, or 1 month at a time, or like teams on 2K like that. I get 1 week at a time, 1 month at a time, so fully invested in it, and then change it up again. I just need to see the long-term vision a little bit more, and be more patient with things, and also to, once again, not allow myself to get so obsessed with like one thing at a time either. So I don't know. It's been my upside and downside, or however you say that. It's been the pros and cons. It's been my kryptonite, as well as what made me. And yeah, like, I think that's what made me a great YouTuber, and what got me to this position is being obsessive over it, and never putting anything else in my like vision at all, for literally as long as, you know, I've been doing it. And maybe, like I said, with summers off as the example, but same with, I'm sure that's what'll make me a good coach when I get into it as well, is being so obsessed over like the smallest details of tendencies and things that are trackable, and to know everybody's name like properly, and to know what makes them go and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. It probably is just unhealthy, but I don't know. Maybe that's the life I'm meant to live as well, is to be extremist and to be so passionately invested in one thing at a time. But I don't know. I'm gonna try and get better at multitasking. But anyway, that's all for video. I appreciate you guys watching and listening, and everything that we've gone through in this. And I seriously mean it from the bottom of my heart. I really feel the connection from you guys now. It faded a little bit for me, if I'm being completely honest, with all the, like I said, negativity that kind of seeps its way in, and I just felt like I had to detach from the social connection of that, because it felt like a collective thing. It felt like when I see negative comments, it like obstructs obstructs my view on the good ones, and I see it as a collective whole of comments, rather than to see a bad comment and be like, that's a person that doesn't actually care for me at all, and just throw it away. I need to get better at that as well. So anyway, any good positive vibes you guys got as well, I really do appreciate in these comments, 100%. And I don't know how long this video is going to end up being. Like I said, I got a lot of tech to deal with here, so I don't have any good way of tracking how long this is going to be. But anyway, I am hopeful that it all goes well, and yeah, we'll see how consistent I get with this stuff. I'm getting the new Elgato in like a couple days. I'm hoping that improves my recording, and that I can kind of get back on track with it in my regular, consistent way, and I'm back to square one of like really easy, simple, no complicated bullshit that I got to deal with or anything like that. But hey, we'll see. If it's not, I'm gonna have to relearn it, and that's all good. Just be patient with me a little bit is all I'm saying. But anyway, we're back into Pro-Am. We're going to get into that stuff. I'm playing center again. I'm just going to play my classic stuff, play with AK, play with, Bonnie, Tanner right here on Pro-Am as well, Tonic, Joey, Blitz, whoever the case may be. That's who I'm hooping with. So anyway, that's all video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Made it to the very end of this video. Put Brad in the comments. Search Sports Right through. It's my real name. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you guys knew that by now. But I wanted to at least see who made it to the end of the video and stuff like that. And if you did, I truly do appreciate it 100%, because I know that means a lot of you guys are like, if you did, you're probably really like hoping the best for me, and I can't even express how I mean the same thing for you. I hope you're doing good, bro. I hope you guys are all succeeding, and if you stay in tune with me on Twitter and stuff like that, that's where I'm a little bit more a little bit more, how do I say, spiritual and like emotional and stuff like that, and just kind of out there and being myself a little bit more than I am on YouTube. But yeah, like I seriously mean from the bottom of my heart, chase your dreams, do what you want in life. If my aunt's passing reminded me of one thing, it is that you do not want to get stuck in a cycle of things that you don't want to be doing. I mean, like, live life as if there isn't much time left at all. She had a 50 by 50 list that I wish I knew about, man. That's one of the things that makes me the most sad, is she made that when she was younger, and I never really knew about it because she never mentioned it to me or anything like that. But man, see, I'm about to start crying here. There's so many things on that list that I wish I would have helped her kind of achieve, like I wish I would have helped her scratch some more things off her bucket list, which, by 50 by 50, quote unquote, turned out to be nearly her whole life as well. And, we could have done some of those things and just considered it more of a bucket list rather than a 50 by 50 list. But, yeah, I don't know. I just wish I knew about that. And tell your family stuff, bro. Tell them, like, things that you don't think that you should or would. Like, if it's on your mind and it's something that you're passionate about and it's something that you want to talk about, bro, do it. Like, don't just sit here and be hesitant and be like, my brother's gonna think I'm cringe if I come to him about personal issues. Don't think like, oh, my mom and my dad aren't gonna care, they're gonna just deflect it. If you show that you're truly interested or truly care or truly need them about something like that, I'm sure that they will find it in them to actually, like, care about it as well. And I just wish I would have known about that as well. I wish I would have known that there were so many things that she wanted to do, and that my little grumpy, teen or like early 20s self was, not open enough to doing new things and trying new things with her to, be willing to do those adventurous things that she had in mind. So I might even do my own. I might even like try and, get out of my zone a little bit, or get out of my comfort zone or like safety box or anything like that, and try and expand a little bit, or chase other dreams as well. I don't know. So I don't know what you guys should expect out of me. I'm coming up on like 9 years of playing, like, you know, being a YouTuber. I started in 2K16 and, you know, really technically 17. So like, I don't know, bro. I probably, I'm sure I'll do it for at least a total of 10 years. I'm not here to put an expiration date on me by any means, because I just take this a year at a time and kind of go with the flow and like see how I feel on my mental, as far as like where my passion is for it. I'm still passionate about it for sure, but one of these days I will get into coaching 100%. Like, and I'm talking like dive headfirst into it, because the problem is coaching and YouTube for 2K line up so at the exact same time period. Like, I've never been able to really get my foot in the door with it, because football season always starts in September, right as soon as the peak of 2K comes, and I can't just miss out on that if I'm gonna be a YouTuber. So one of these days it's just gonna have to be one or the other, and I've picked YouTube every single time, and I hope it continues to go well, and if it does, then I'll continue doing it, you know. But yeah, I don't know. I will be a coach one day, though. I'm speaking that into existence. I hope I'm in a college football, like NFL kind of dynamic, where because I'm such a nerd on this stuff, and I really will be so passionate about it. It's insane. Or even if it's like a GM or a scout or something like that, anything of that nature, I'm obsessed with, like, trying to be in the future. So it wasn't worth doing in the, you know, current or even short-term future, because I don't think you'll even be taken seriously enough as a 21-year-old or a 22-year-old, 23, 24, anything like that. But as I get into my 30s, I'm sure I will, like, open up a little bit more to the idea of being a coach. So anyway, I know I'm leaving this on a little bit of a somber note, talking about potential retirement of LakerFan, you know, but it'll be in the future. I promise that. You'll at least have, I'm gonna say, at least 2 more years. Like, I'm for sure all in on 2K25 and 26. But yeah, I mean, we'll see by the time I'm like 28, 29 where my mental is as far as my stamina for this stuff anymore. So I know I've been very vulnerable in this video for sure, but that's what I wanted to be with this. So I got exactly what I wanted out of this, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Anyway, that's all. Appreciate you guys watching. On that, take it easy, man. Peace.